Hi, this is Ash from Owlish Media. I'm here today to tell you how to use my character customizer for Cinema 4D. So, let's get started. Alright, so make sure you have the file open, so that's your first step. Now, obviously, you'll just see the default settings here. First off, there's this genderless, genitalless figure. These controls here will let you control different parts of the morph lens. So basically, when you click on it in your attributes window, it should come up with the attributes for this spline. Everything you need is under this user data tab here. Okay, so as you can see, there's a bunch of sliders all set to their default. Now what you basically just want to do is just fiddle around with the sliders and see what happens. So yeah, let's just make ourselves a weird looking figure. Head, face slimness. So you can have a really wide face or a gaunt, thin face if you want to. Let's put it here, shall we? Jaw height is this part of the face, the jaw. This will make it really like strong and low, or quite high. And if you kind of want a high one if you want someone that has no teeth, because their jaw tends to, like, when they have their mouth closed, there's no teeth to set the jaw lower, so it kind of looks like their chin is caved in a little bit. So let's put that there. Jaw softness is similar. It doesn't go up or down, it goes hard or soft. So obviously, if you want a really masculine face, you should set it nice and low, or if you want a softer, more younger or feminine type face, you'll want it softer. Chin height, that's quite obvious, as you can see. Chin softness, again, basically it just makes the chin either very defined or just kind of a slope. Chin cleft, that's kind of a chin dimple sort of thing. Clefts don't work too well with a soft chin, so you'll want it nice and defined for that. Ear scale, so that's just the size of the ear. Ear rotation. Elf ear, so that just makes it look like a nice pointed elf ear shape. Looks best with the ear slightly rotated outward, not too far, but like that sort of thing. Okay, so and then the ear height, obviously that's how high it sits on the face. Cheek fullness is basically whether you want them to look like they've got a full mouth or a kind of an empty, more defined sort of look in their face. Okay, next, brow. You got your prominence. Now this doesn't work as with the eyes as they are, but if you make the eye depth in some more, then it'll even out, but I'll put it there for now. Brow height. It's pretty self-explanatory. Separation. Angle, so that's if it's looks kind of more evil or more, I don't know, innocent, I guess. Brow arch, so that's how rounded the eyebrow's going to be. And you can go inverse to make them look kind of sympathetic, I guess. And the furrow, that's doesn't work so well with the brow arch, but gotta fiddle with these until it starts looking right to you. Fear, so that's just making it look like someone's worried or scared. Skew left, that's makes it go up on one side. Skew right is the opposite of that. Okay, next, eyes. Okay, so this is a good one you'll want to keep once you've made the character. I'll show you how to do that in a future video. So this will just tell you how closed the eyes are, or because I modelled it kind of halfway closed, I have a separate slider for closed and open, so you can set it to more open, make them look like really worried and shocked, or you can just kind of set it to a happy medium like that. You can render if you want to check the quality, because Cinema 4D defaults to a low quality of texture, so yeah, there's probably ways you can change that, but I don't bother. Anyway, eye scale, that's just how big the eyes are. Gets a little bit distorted as it gets too big or small. Eye height, so that can go all the way down or way up to ridiculous heights. So somewhere in the middle. Now this is the eye depth I was talking about before. So if you set it to be nice and deep, then when you choose your brow prominence and get that out like back, kind of starts to work better. But yeah, most of the time you won't want your eyes too far back. My separation, so obviously I'm putting, like, each end of this is pretty extreme, but normally you don't want to push it that far if you want to make something look aesthetically pleasing. Obviously, but I gave you plenty of wiggle room. You know, if you really want to create like cartoony type characters, you can do that with this. Yeah. So yeah, you can fiddle with the corners of the eyes, the eye crease, which is, you know, how much the eyes kind of look bulgy versus how they look inset. So the lower it is, the more you can see the roundness of the eye. Okay, let's have a quick look at the render. Yeah, it looks okay. Okay, next, nose. So obviously we've got your overall size of the nose. You can make it little or big. That's pretty big. Height, so make him kind of like a Who from Dr. Seuss, I guess. forward is how far the nose extends outward. Nose tip rotate is if you want to make it kind of more of a upturned nose or downturned nose. Okay, tip bulge is kind of the bulbous part of the nose. It's part in the middle here. So if you want it nice and full, you turn it up, or you can make it tiny. So as you can kind of see from this, I based this a lot on you know, existing game character designers, especially like The Sims, where you have sliders for just about everything. I thought, well, I might as well do that for my game, which I'm making. Save me a lot of time. Okay, so nose bridge, that's the top of the nose. Whether you want it wide or really tight. Nose bridge prominence, that's if you want to change this curve of the nose. So if you turn it up, it kind of looks more like the kind of noses you find in Greek statues, I guess. Down lower, well, it starts to look pretty weird, but around this point is where most noses would go, something like that, between these points. Next, nose base width, so that's the whole base of the nose. That includes this part of the nose, which the next part doesn't alter, so that's the nostril width. So as you can see, it alters the width of the nostrils but not the middle part. It's got a name, I can't remember what it's called, like septum or something. Oops. Yeah, so okay, nostril height, that's pretty self-explanatory by showing it. Alright, next, mouth. Mouth scale, so that's just the overall size of the mouth. Mouth height, again, same thing, same deal as usual. Lip fullness, that's whether you want really kissable lips or really thin lips. Underbite, that's okay, let me show you, I guess. So a big underbite is with the jaw extending outward, to kind of a, this is the kind of thing orcs tend to have with their tusks coming out of the big underbite jaw. Mouth open, well obviously that's explanatory, isn't it? Mouth shut, well by default it's shut, or you can kind of just let it hang loosely. I don't know why you would, but you can. Mouth open, obviously, yeah. Mouth corner height, so that's more or less kind of makes the resting face look happy or sad or neutral. The mouth corner forward, that is how far back the corners of the mouth extend into the cheeks. Oops, wrong one. There you go. You can see what it was doing. That looks pretty funny. And so you should have your mouth shut most of the time. Alright. Next. Oops. Torso. That's this doodad. Alright, so this is where a lot of the overall sliders rest. So you got your overall weight. That's just add some pounds. Mostly to the, you don't want to push it this far, it looks pretty ridiculous. But if you push it that far, or this far, or whatever, and it starts to look kind of natural. Overall skin sag, that's, well, you could see, kind of makes it melt a little bit. With age, skin gets less elastic, so it tends to sag. Emaciated, well, you don't want any weight on for this. This generally just makes them look really malnourished, and their ribs are showing, and they kind of got no meat on their bones. You can also pump this up by reducing the overall weight as well, and that really makes them look like they're about to die. Let's just put these at default. Torso length, well, that's just how long is the torso compared to everything else. Now, as you can see here, the inside of the mouth is a separate item, so it will not move with the main mesh, but you can, if you take this pulleys layer and unlock it, you can then move that around. So yeah, you can put that wherever you need it to be. Normally, if you're doing the body, just turn it off and not look at it for a bit. Alright, where were we? Torso length, yes. Alright. Okay, thicken torso, that is make it wider in the Z depth, so it's not so skinny. Widen torso is the x-axis width. Yes, my cat just came in, if you heard that meow. Hello. Oh, shush. Okay, waist, that's this middle section. It's really good for creating an hourglass figure. If you use this in conjunction with good hip width, which is coming up in the hip section. Yes, hello. Hello, kitty. Where was I? Yes, shoulder width. So generally more feminine shapes have a lower shoulder width, and more masculine shapes have a broader shoulder. Chest girth, well, generally want that if you're going to have a muscular male figure, not so much a female. Breast size is more of a female attribute. I didn't make it so that you can push it ridiculous. Well, sort of ridiculous, but you know, I don't make humongous breasts generally. Generally, you want something just not too big, just kind of enough to show that it's a feminine shape. Okay, separation, well, that's if you want, depends on the woman's clothing that you're making as well. If it's tight, if she has a tight bra on, for example, you'll want it nice and close together. If she's not wearing a bra, then they'll just kind of hang out this way. Oh, and they'll be a bit saggy as well. So this will depend on her clothing, I think. If you're planning clothes for this figure, you know, if they've got a sports bra on, it'll be up here somewhere. If they've got a regular bra, it'll kind of look like that. If they've got no bra, it'll kind of look like that. Or if they're really old, it'll start sagging further down. Nipple height, well, that's just an adjustment for Nipples, obviously. That can be used for men or women, that nipple height adjustment. The belly, well, that kind of creates kind of a beer gut or a pregnant belly. Now, if you want to make a particularly male figure with a big belly, here's what you should do. Let's get rid of the breasts. Okay, so you can push the belly out, but it's gonna still look like a pregnant belly until you widen the waist a bit. So here you go. And there'll be some more sliders for the hips coming as well. You can put in some love handles. Where are we? Okay, back hunch. Okay, this is if you make it an old person that's hunched over. This can kind of gives them a hunchback. Which is a natural thing that happens to old people if they have osteoporosis. Small fractures in the spine will kind of cause them to hunch over and cause this sort of deformity. So yeah, I've added that in that functionality because I'm not ageist. Next, we got the neck. Neck width, well, that's pretty obvious. You can make it comically small or comically big. Generally, you want something somewhere in this vicinity. But you can also make them have a long neck. Oops. Which looks pretty ridiculous if you push it too far, but some people have longer necks than others. See, that looks fine. Adam's apple. Okay, so that just pushes out this part of the neck. Generally something like that for a male that's thin would look good. The more weight they have, the less you'll want to see the Adam's apple, because it looks, well, fat around the neck kind of makes that hard to spot. So alright, arms. Oh, yeah, no, wait, double chin. There we go. So that creates double chin, which starts out kind of subtle and then grows to a pretty major degree. Even slimmish people can have a double chin, and sometimes like very overweight people might not necessarily have much of one. So yeah, that's why I kind of made it separate from the overall weight slider. Okay, next, arms. So muscular, that kind of just makes them wider. If you really want to show muscles on this figure, you might have to create your own skin texture, because I haven't done anything like that at this point. I might in the future, but right now not so much. So yeah, we've got the thickness kind of bulges out at the muscles in the arms. Hand scales, that's how big the hands are. And arm length. Okay, hip. Okay, so if you've got a female figure, you'll want the hip around here somewhere. I mean, you can push it this far, but it looks pretty weird. Okay, booty. That's the old backside. Men don't tend to have particularly big booties. Crotch height, so background for it. Probably men would have a larger crotch height than the women, but it depends on what sort of clothes you're putting on them that you might not even notice. Okay, love handles, that's the fat around the hips that men tend to have when they gain some weight around the waist. so it kind of hangs over like that. Alright, legs. Almost finished. Leg length. So that just makes them taller or shorter. Legs muscular. That does the same thing as the the arms muscular. Just pumps out the main muscles in the legs. Foot width. So if they want a broad foot or a skinny foot. Foot length. Clown feet or tiny foot binding feet. Okay, so now I got a pretty weird looking elf going on. If you're happy with this, which, well, why wouldn't you be? I mean, just look at it. Then you should save as so that you can have a separate copy. Weird elf. Okay, so from this point, if you're completely happy with it, you don't want to make any more changes to it, then you can go ahead and delete the expressions and the pickers here. And let's turn on the poly layer. Okay, now alright, well, in the next video I will show you how you keep some of these pose morphs on the character without having to keep all this configuration going on. So if you don't want to do that, you can then go ahead and delete this pose morph tag. But if you do, then hold on and wait till the next video. So thanks, see ya.